my blast lab. Oh, yeah, yes, I forgot about this. I tried to mop that up last night, but it just sort of melted the mop. Don't go near it. That's the best thing. Right now, we're all gathered in to the blast lab. I can activate the perimeter robot guards if I can switch them on. There you see, just for our own security. Now, today I have invited 2 teams to compete in scientific challenges to win great prizes. So, without further ado... Yeah, that'll have been one of the lab rats turning up late for work, encountering the robot guards. Still, it'll teach him to be late. Right, let's have a look at what's coming up today. Here in my lab, working away at all hours of day and night. And that's why being one of my lab security guards is a pretty stressful job. At least, that's what my crack SAS commando unit told me this morning when they didn't show up for work. Apparently, it's because of stress that they've all gone on a health spa holiday for massages and beauty treatments. So, in the meantime, I have drafted in a woman whose fighting ability is matched only by her ability to play Sudoku. It is my Ninja Now. Yeah, Ninja Nan, thanks for standing in. Thank you, thank you. I know she may look a little fragile, but she is a fully trained ninja. Yeah, there you go. Nan, if you'd like to take your place in security, please. Nan, if you'd like to take your place in security, thank you very much. There she goes. That's not full speed for her, obviously. Actually, the army have cloned her DNA to create a race of bionic fighting machines. Nan, are you settled in yet? Are you settled into security? There she is. See, the sort of ninja way she moves her tartan shopping trolley next to her and settles in. Oh, out comes the ninja knitting. Do you know, yesterday in her tea break, she knitted a scarf that was 10 miles long. Should have seen her do it. Right, let's meet the people who claim to be our teams for today. Let's have a look. Getting all giddy. We don't know who they are yet. They say they're the yellow team. We can't be too careful. For security purposes, I'm going to ask you to identify yourselves by name. What are your names, please?
Ellie! Embla! Kelsey!
Ellie, Embla, Kelsey. Yeah, that checks out with what I've got on the security file. I'm also going to ask you to demonstrate a hidden talent to prove you are who you say you are. Embla, it says here that you're double-jointed. Are you?
Yes.
Prove it, please. So this is your hands that you can... Yeah, look at that! Yeah, oh, the whole audience is going, aha! Yeah, you are double-jointed. You are cleared through security. Come into the blast lab. Come on in. Kelsey, Embla and Ellie, hello. Welcome. Lovely to have you in the blast lab. Where are you all from?
Cornwall. And we are the Sassy Science Cadets!
Not today, you're not. You're the yellow team. But it's lovely to have you in the blast lab. Let's now meet the people who claim to be your competitors. Let's meet them, the red team. Right, you say you're the red team. Give me your names, please, so that I can check them off. You are?
Ross, Bruce, Kyle.
Ross, Bruce and Kyle. Yeah, fair enough. Hidden talent, Kyle. It says here you can do Russian martial arts. That sounds deadly and very impressive, but don't make a move right now, please, because just behind you, you see, poised like a velociraptor, there she is. Ninja Nan. If she knows you're even thinking about martial arts, she'll just tear you apart. So, lab rats, make her safe, please. Contain Ninja Nan. In they go. For some reason, she's terrified of this tape. She won't go past it. OK, I think, Kyle, she's safe. She's safe. You won't get attacked. Demonstrate, please, your Russian martial arts. OK, oh, yes, that's sort of a boxing thing going on there. Now he's turned on his teammates. Yeah, OK, it was very casual martial arts, that, Kyle. I reckon that'll do. You're cleared through security. Come into the blast lab. Come on. Kyle, that was kind of, you know, martial arts. Casually. Where have you all come from?
Glasgow. And we are the Secret Science Team.
Not today, you're not. You're the red team, and that's final. Right, welcome then, both teams, red and yellow, to Blast Lab. You need to go and get comfortable now and ready for round one. That's what we're doing next. Go and get settled in. He's cleverer than Stephen Hawking, faster than Isaac Newton, and consumes more petrol than Albert Einstein. It is my closest pal, Oliver. Loves nothing more than collecting facts to put in his high-tech fact nav system. Unfortunately, I built it, so it doesn't always work. Not all of the facts are correct. So I'm going to ask our teams to decide which ones are and which ones aren't. And as always, Oliver will then tell us if it's true. He'll say this. And if it's false, he'll say this. OK, so simple enough. And this, of course, teams, is your first chance to earn points. So we're all settled and ready. Right, Reds, you're first. I'm going to give you a science fact. You tell me whether it's true or false. Oliver will tell us if you're right. The phenomenon known as the Northern Lights is created by a wind from the sun. Is that true or false? The Northern Lights. Have you heard of the Northern Lights? Very confident. OK, have a chat, talk about it. While I ask the audience. Audience, is that true or false? Let's see what you think. Shout it out. Ooh, about a 50-50 split there in the audience, I think. But don't listen to them. What do they know? Have a good think, team.
False.
You reckon it's false? Oliver, tell me, is it true or false? It's true! It's true! Reds, I'm very sorry there. It was actually named after the Roman goddess of dawn, Aurora, and the Greek name for north wind, Boreas. Right, Reds, sorry, no point there. Yellows, this is your chance, well, to get ahead straight away in the first round, of course. Here is your science fact. A full moon is 9 times brighter than a half moon. Have a talk, have a think, talk it over. Audience, what do you think? Is that true or false? Again, pretty much a half and half split in the audience, I think. The most important opinions here, of course, the yellow team. Their decision will decide, point or not. This will put you in the lead if you get it right. What do you think? Ambler, you're going to be spokesperson? True or false?
True.
You're saying true. Oliver, is it true or false? It is true. The moon is actually covered in valleys and mountains, and normally they're all in shadow, but when it's full, the sun's light reaches into those valleys and reflects back, so there's more of the moon to reflect light back. So well done. That means 1 for the yellows. They are ahead. Now, the third question, which, of course, works slightly differently. This is the one that I'm going to ask you as a question. It's not a science fact that you say true or false. You give me an answer. Write that answer down on the boards in front of you. It's not that easy to be exact. So I will give a point to the team that gets closest to the real answer, OK? Everybody understand what they've got to do. Here comes your question. How long would it take Concorde plane to fly around the world? Have a chat, have a think. You never know what you might know that might help. Audience, anybody got any idea? Anybody got a clue? Right, I'm going to go and talk to you. I'm going to use this, it's a brilliant invention. You see, you think it's a boot, but it's actually a microphone as well. I mean, you can see by the faces they're really impressed. Does anybody know how long it would take Concorde to fly around the world? Yes?
I think it's 9 hours.
Right. Not any you've just, that's it.
Actually, it's 19 hours.
OK. Any advance on 19?
OK. 98 hours.
98 hours. This is great. We just keep going back for a bigger number. All right, thank you very much. 98 hours. Any guess is differently, wildly from that?
10...
Whisper, because the audience might be listening.
10 days.
10 days. OK, we've got quite a range of times, yes?
About 3 days.
About 3 days. Fair old range of numbers in there. Let's see what our teams think. Obviously, they're the ones who are competing for points. I'll put my brilliant invention down there, you see. See, I can... Look at that. It even looks good. Right, have you written down an answer? Reds, have you written down an answer? Yellows, turn those answers round so we can all see them. Turn your answer round, let's have a look, please. Reds and yellows. Right. From the Reds, we've got 20 hours. From the yellows, 5 days. A real time. It would take Concorde plane to fly around the world is 29 hours and 59 minutes, which means red team get the point there. OK, so that's an equalising point. Well done, both teams. To come, but right now it's time for mini science. This is the round where our teams perform elaborate and fabulous scientific experiments using boring household items. To help, I brought my science teacher from school back here with the time machine, but there's been this small problem. She got younger. As I said, there's been a small problem. It's her. She's small. It is Mini Miss.
Be smart with me, Richard.
Sorry, Miss. So what are we doing today, then, Miss?
Well, Richard, today our teams are going to be balloon surfing.
Brilliant! What's balloon surfing?
One team will start off with 5 balloons and a surfboard. They then have to place the surfboard over the balloon before all of them standing on it. They have to stand on it unsupported without popping any of the balloons. If they do that successfully, it goes over to the next team.
OK.
The next team then has to do the same thing, but have to remove at least one of the balloons, or maybe more. And again, they cannot pop any of the balloons. If they do that successfully, it goes on to the first team, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Oh, I see. So you've got to think about how many balloons. There's quite a lot of tactics in here, then.
Yes, and you mustn't forget that all 3 team members have to stand on the board unsupported.
Right, OK. And these are the balloons we're using, and these are just their ordinary, everyday balloons. I mean, they can take a fair bit of weight. They are quite strong. Thank you, Miss. Thank you. Sorry for playing around. Now, because it's a draw, we have to decide now which team goes first. And to do that, I'm going to ask you to draw pens. Right. If you'd like to step forward, volunteer. If you pull the short pen, I'm afraid the decision goes to the other team. Get the long one, it's up to you. Embla, good luck. Up, it's the short one. Bad luck. That means Reds, you get to decide if you go first or second. Seeing as there's such a lot to talk about, a lot of tactics, how many balloons, who goes first, I'm going to give you some time to do that, OK? So now's your planning time. Use it wisely. This game is all about pressure. But pressure isn't just about how much force is applied. It's about the area it's applied over. And the easiest way to understand that is if you push one hand onto the other like that. It's fairly comfortable. But if you put the same amount of force on just your fingernail onto your hand, ow, it digs in. That's because the pressure is increased because it's spread over a tiny, tiny area instead of a big area. In this experiment, the balloons, when we apply the weight from the teams onto them, hopefully will spread out, which means, well, there's more area for the weight to go onto, so the pressure is less. They go from that to that, hopefully. All we've got to do now is each team decide how many balloons to use to do this. Teams, your tactical time is coming to a close. Reds, it's your call. Do you want to go first or second?
Second.
I think tactically that's the wisest choice, which means Yellows, you're going first. The good thing is you get to go balloon surfing first, which is possibly great. How many balloons are you going to go for?
4.
4? Woohoo, straight away you're getting rid of a balloon. They're brave, the Yellows. OK, well, get the balloons, get forward to the surfing area, and let's give it a go. I love to see the thinking going on. They're not taking anything for granted. They're not just sticking them on, they're thinking where. I think already the teams are starting to consider weight and where it's going, weight distribution. We happy, Yellows? We happy with our balloon sighting? OK. Right, lab rats will now put the surfboard into position for you. What's going to happen, as soon as you step onto the board, they'll hold you until you're standing steady. As soon as you tell them that you're steady, the lab rats will stand back and put both arms in the air. And from that moment, we will begin the timer, and you'll hear that counting down. You've got to do 5 seconds for it to count, all right? So, 4 balloons holding up 3 people, hopefully. Here we go. Step onto the surfboard, please. OK, we have 1 team member on. Let's get the others on.
Lean forward a bit, Cameron.
Well, all 3. Oh, Lord, we've had a disaster. That's one gone. The Reds there are celebrating wildly. The game's not over yet, because for this to count, the Reds have actually still got to do it. They've still got to beat you. Right, that means, Reds, to better that, I reckon we'll let you off with 4, if you can do 4.
Okay, 4.
OK, Reds, you've seen the drill. The lab rats will get the board ready for your surfing. Right, the lab rats will support you getting on. Tell them when you're balanced and ready, if you manage. Then we'll begin the countdown. Can't start the timer. The point goes to the Reds, which means the score's now 2-1 to the Reds. Well done, Red team. So, we had 4 balloons there supporting 3 scientists. That's pretty impressive. I wonder how many balloons it would take to support, oh, I don't know, a car. For this experiment, we need a lot of balloons. The world's first balloons were made of dried animal bladders. Not much fun to blow up, and certainly not much fun for the animals. Luckily, these days, they're now made of rubber, which has led to happier animals and fresher breaths all round. My lab rats have used all of their puff to make a 200-balloon sandwich. As we've just seen, balloons can hold a fair bit of weight, so 1 lab rat isn't a problem. But what about 7 of them? As my test zone lab rats clamber aboard, still no popping. A few have squashed down, but not a problem, and I'll tell you why. The reason we can stand on balloons like this is because the weight of the lab rats is spread out over all the balloons. This means the pressure on each balloon is not enough to make them pop. But if you increase the weight enough, then at some point the pressure will become too much for the balloons to take. The Ford Granada, 1 1/4 tons of family motoring, and a load of party balloons. It's time for the ultimate machine versus balloon matchup. OK, hold the experiment, because I think there's an extra point in this. Teams, for an extra point. You tell me. Does it work? Can those balloons support that car without any balloons bursting? Can they do it? Have a quick think between you. Have a quick think. I'm going to ask you for an answer. Audience, what do we think? Will it or won't it? Will it or won't it? Anybody got any idea? Hang on. I'll get my microphone boot. Soon to be available from just down there, if you want the only one there'll ever be in it. What do you reckon? Will it do it? Can they do it?
No.
You think not?
No.
You think not?
Yep.
You think yes?
Yeah.
All right, teams, you've had some time to think. Your answers, please. Do you think it will? Do you think it won't?
Yep. I think we'll burst.
You think it won't do it? Yellows?
I think it will.
You think it will? That's good. It's good if there's a split like this, because then there's definitely some points up for grabs. You think, then, that many balloons can't do it?
At least one of them will burst.
At least one of them will burst. OK, Yellows, you think it'll all be OK. All right, well, there's a point in it for you. Scores at the moment 2-1. Need these points. Let's have a look at what happens.
He's got a brand new car. Looks like a Jaguar.
Here we go. Slowly now.
Got leather
The balloons are gradually taking the weight.
It's got a CD.
They look like they're fit to burst. But with the crane unhooked, the full weight of the car is on the balloons and not a single one has burst. That is unbelievable. So you got that point back? That means equal again, 2-2. Well done. Sorry, Reds. It worked, you see. Spreading all that weight over all that balloons, it worked. They could do it. Right, the next thing to happen, both teams have got to go away and get changed into your special protective outfits, because it's messy, messy, mess test next. Away you go. While they do that, actually, the whole balloon thing, it was easy. after we'd done the car, we found we could take things even further. A family car isn't complete without a family. And on my family holidays, we always packed everything, including the kitchen sink. Surely that extra weight will increase the pressure. All aboard? Close to 2 tons of force and not a single pop balloon to show for it. My lab rats get a little bit excitable when they go on holiday. And that's exactly why I never let the lab rats go on holiday. Right, we must move on. It's time now for the Messy Mess test. Which today is in the septic tank. Yeah, comfortable? Good. Try and think of all the most horrible, disgusting things you can, and then times it by 1,000 million billion, and then times that by a gazillion, and you're kind of getting close. Just try not to get any on you. Too late. OK, this is the game. Hidden in the tank are discs. Some of them are like this one, duds. But the ones you're after are these that my lab rat is holding over there. They'll have the colour of your team on them and the names of prizes. Lab rat, hide those and then get out. Your job, teams, is to get as many of those prize discs as you can out of the tank and that unspeakable goo into these baskets. There's 2, one for the yellow team, one for the red team. Then the team to get the most prize discs into their basket will take home the prizes written on those discs. The losing team will blow theirs up. Now, as it's a draw thus far in the game, you both start together. You've got some time to get as many of those discs as you possibly can into these baskets, and that some time starts now. OK, away we go, and both teams not afraid to get in amongst the awful waste from my lab. The yellow's there, dunking 2 prize discs. Wait a second, one of them is red. That won't count. Now the Reds are at it. Into their net goes a yellow prize. Let's quickly see again what went wrong at the start of this match. In their eagerness to get started, both red and yellow teams put the wrong coloured discs in their baskets. Those won't count when my lab rats add up the scores at the end of this extraordinary encounter. That's more like it. The Reds are off the mark with a correctly coloured prize disc. Watch this. This will confuse them even more.
I forgot again. By the way, teams, every now and again there'll be a siren and more horrible, horrible guns will come down those pipes. I forgot to tell them. But they do bring more prize discs in as well, so never please.
There it goes again. And it looks like both teams have taken advantage of the extra discs. And look at this. I think Bruce has just realised what he did wrong earlier. The crowd enjoying this gungy encounter. It is very close at this point between the 2 teams. More horrible waste comes down the pipes, and it's going to be crucial that the teams bag the extra discs. The yellows have grabbed one, and the Reds have to respond. Which they do. It's slim pickings in there now, with both teams doing well. It is too close to call.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time is up. That's it, teams. No more, no more. Let's find out which team has won. We've got lab rats in counting frantically. Lab rat, the yellows have got how many? 1, 2, 5 for the yellows. For the Reds, how many? 4. That means the yellows are the winners! Yellow team, you will be taking home 1 each of these prizes. Let's have a look at what you've won. Ready, Nan? A disgusting digestion kit, a flying wind copter, adventure watches, a lunar eclipse bedroom light, and a white wings glider kit. All of those prizes are for the yellow team. We'll have all those ready for you. Now, the slightly tricky bit. Reds, not looking quite so chirpy. It's too late now. The game's over. Let's have a look at what you would have won. A lunar eclipse bedroom light would have been there for each of you. Yep. You'd each have been taking home, a disgusting digestion kit. And a multimedia player. Yeah. Oh, and toxic mutants, as it turns out. But it's OK, because you're not going to take them home. Instead, you're going to blow them up. Yeah. Because it's time for B-Day Goes Bang. Well, it's that time again. The Yellows today are standing here behind a huge mound of presents in a wheelbarrow. We're happy with our prizes?
Yeah.
Well done, you earned them. You won, fair and square. Reds, different mood over on this side. How are we feeling? Yeah. When I said you're going to blow your prizes up, somebody, Ross, I think it was you, went, yeah! So it's not too bad.
I don't want any anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want them. That's the attitude. I didn't want any prizes. Going to blow them up instead. It's better.
Yeah.
What went wrong with the game? Why didn't you win?
Probably too slow.
Too slow. It's not that easy, is it? You either find them or you don't. OK, Reds. Well, when it comes to explosions, every scientist knows that toilets go crash and bathtubs go wallop. But B-Days go bang, as we're about to find out. Your prizes are in position there. So if you'd like to step forward, who's going to do the plunger?
Oliver.
You're all going to do it together. Team effort. All right, lift it up. Hold it there. We're going to give you a countdown. Are we ready? Teams, audience? 5,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Today, we've learned about spreading of force and distribution of weight. So I'm off to distribute my weight on the sofa and spread the force of a packet of biscuits across my stomach. See you next time. Glass Lab was recorded in front of a live studio audience. No lab rats were hurt in filming. Probably.
Get ready for a brand new kind of adventure. Run!
The dancing dolphins of doom? Let me put it another way.
The legend of Dick and Dom.
Can we watch now?
So new it hurts. Friday at 4:35, CBBC on BBC One.
CBBC.
Previously on Paradise Cafe.
I'm part of the gang now. They trust me.
But can I trust you, Chloe?